Yields at 65%.
Hail them.
They're not responding.
Return fire.
If you're a Star Trek fan, you likely remember this TV version of the 1990s.
Who are you? And what the hell are you doing to my crew?
Bet you don't know the real name of this guy. He was a security guard you often saw right behind Captain Janeway of the Starship Voyager. That aspiring actor is Sylvester Foster, a name that should live in infamy in Houston politics, journalism, and law. In 1986, this former Houston hairdresser had been reported drowned after two companions testified he fell off a sailboat in Galveston Bay. The timing looked suspicious. It was just a few days before Foster's planned surrender to the U.S. Secret Service for credit card fraud.
There have been times when you've made out a will for individuals and they die for various reasons shortly thereafter. And you look at it and you say, well, try to put together the circumstances by which it come about. I mean, it does happen.
That was the young lawyer who drew up Sylvester Foster's will just a few days before his unusual boating accident. Aspiring Houston politician, a guy named Sylvester Turner. Even Turner's own wife at the time suspected Sylvester Foster had pulled off a scam. Quoting, "I told Sylvester specifically I felt like he was on the French Riviera." Well, she was close. 5 years later, Sylvester Turner was in a heated runoff in his first campaign to be Houston mayor. When Channel 13 was tipped off before Thanksgiving weekend 1991 that Sylvester Foster, he wasn't dead. The drowning was a fraud. Foster, in fact, had been in prison in Spain under an alias for a year and a half, busted in a cocaine deal.
That guy died more than 5 or 6 years ago.
Well, he's not dead.
As far as we all know.
This added to our suspicion. In 1991, the married mayoral candidate Sylvester Turner was actually sharing a house instead with a guy named Dwight Thomas.
Prison, Spain. Prison, Spain. Prison, Spain.
Thomas, with Turner's help, had been pursuing insurance money in the Foster death case. The resulting TV story questioned all these relationships. It aired on Sunday night of Thanksgiving weekend, just days before the runoff. It is credited, in fact, with killing Sylvester Turner's chances to win. Months later, an admitted co-conspirator in the fraud case actually named Turner as part of the conspiracy. We later learned the Secret Service had already labeled Sylvester Turner a suspect in the case. Here's the record. 28 years later, we continue to investigate Sylvester Turner as we have every mayor for decades. Maybe we shouldn't be surprised that Mayor Turner is dogged today by constant allegations of corruption, questionable relationships, and helping his buddies get your tax money. And the mayor, well, he continues to blame me no matter who asks the questions.
Let me refer you back to Wayne Deltrafino where you got that. Next question.
So congratulations, many thanks for the chance to follow under your great leadership and your tutelage.
When an email showed Turner helped a close family friend, Maya Ford, negotiate a consulting deal with a rail company seeking the mayor's support, it was my fault.
I'm going to refer you back to Wayne Deltrafino. It's a very low-level employee.
What's your relationship with Maya Ford?
Quite frankly, you ought to be ashamed.
I mean, she calls you Pops. I'm just asking.
I'm going to refer you back to Wayne Deltrafino.
Even today, the Sylvester Foster insurance case is hotly debated. Back in the 90s, a jury thought the story was false, but higher courts said the reporting was substantially true. Take this recent blog post from a guy named Noah Horowitz. He's a young attorney, and he's a self-proclaimed expert of sorts on me. Look at this. Horowitz calls my continuing investigations of Mayor Turner part of a blood libel from a conspiratorial charlatan. Quoting, Deltrafino was not vindicated, Horowitz blogged, any more than O.J. Simpson and Casey Anthony. What a fan. So now I'm accused in the same breath as two accused murderers, O.J. Simpson and Casey Anthony. I'm honored. I never remembered meeting Noah Horowitz or investigating his family, so I looked him up. Surprise, surprise! Here's a picture of Noah and Sylvester Turner. That smiling photo was taken at a birthday party, and not just any party, but the 60th birthday of Cindy Clifford. She's the lobbyist who chaired Turner's inauguration committee. And there's her buddy Maya Shea from Channel 13, who covers the mayoral campaign. Clifford's clients have won more than $100 million in contracts from the mayor since his inauguration. She got part of the airport concessions contract, too. And Noah Horowitz? Well, his resume includes a stint with Cindy Clifford's company and time at City Hall. For me, that's a recipe for a real buddy.
Let's get all this to the lab. Should be an open and shut case.
Today, Sylvester Foster is still an actor in his 60s.
We got another one.
Best known for a repeated role as a police lieutenant in the TV show Castle. But for Houston voters, Sylvester Foster's starring role was a sworn deposition in the Sylvester Turner case.
Can you tell the members of the jury whether or not Sylvester Turner had any involvement or participation in assisting you in staging your death or disappearance in June of 1986?
I invoke my Fifth Amendment.
Foster took the Fifth Amendment back in the 90s. And in October of this year, we asked if he was ready to share the truth. Quoting, "Houston is in my rearview mirror," he told us, "and I want to keep it that way." The Sylvester Foster case may be in Houston's rearview mirror, but something else happened in the final days of that 1991 mayoral campaign that could be critically important even today.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. We begin tonight with word of what may be one of the biggest attempted insurance swindles in recent Houston history: the apparent conspiracy to fake the death of a 30-year-old Houston man with criminal troubles and millions of dollars in life insurance. Tonight, Wayne Dolcefino with his 13 exclusive undercover investigation into a mystery with a potentially explosive political twist. Wayne?
What wasn't reported that night was the fact a private investigator hired by Turner's wife had shown me a sworn affidavit she filled out about Mayor Turner wannabe. It was salacious, so graphic that the judge in the Turner libel trial wouldn't even let the jurors see it. On the morning of the general election early in November, copies of that now 28-year-old affidavit were left on a lot of car windshields, even though Cheryl Turner says she didn't really mean some of the stuff in it. That windshield stunt was just meant to embarrass Sylvester Turner, and that's not right. I don't think most voters care about the guy's personal life. But there is something else in that affidavit that I think is very critical to this year's campaign. Stay tuned.